Welcome back to the Tabletop Podcast.
Episode 4.
Fourth episode,
Four
Kurt.
episodes.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, we got episode 4 out. Oh, not out.
Well, not yet. we are recording
tried.
currently.
Yeah, no, doing good. You know, sweating out NBA.
NBA, yeah.
Not really anything else to do.
No, still locked indoors. Got an announcement from Boris on Monday, don't we?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, could be big. Could be a big one.
By the
Hopefully.
time most people hear this, it would have already been happening.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully,
You never
by
know.
the time you're hearing this, we can leave the house.
And we can go to Dubai and film a podcast.
Yes, we can. Well, we got a new microphone today, haven't we, Kurt?
We do.
It's a lot better than the headsets we were using before. Picks up a bit better quality, but it also picks up a whole lot of other stuff. So if you hear any background noise, please bear with us. In the next couple of weeks, we'll iron out some of the kinks. But you might hear a dog bark or somebody walking up the stairs or someone like that.
The dog does what the dog does.
Yes, he does. He does exactly what he wants. Well, what we're going to talk about today, Kurt?
Today we've got a few big topics, including chocolate, where you put it.
Yep.
Don't put it anywhere weird.
Yep.
Fridge or cupboard, that's the topic.
Yep.
And I've forgotten the rest, Alex.
I think we're going to discuss what our favourite things. Yeah, let the viewers know us a bit more. We're going to talk about our favourite things. Maybe talk about our dream jobs. And I thought a big topic we could talk about today. Obviously, having spoken previously on one of the other episodes, I'm a vegetarian. I have strong beliefs on animal ethics, if you will. And on a previous episode, we had a suggestion to say that we should talk about that. So today, I thought we could touch on that because we have pretty differing views. So, well, yeah. So we'll talk about. So I thought we could touch on that, and then to end, I thought we can have a little discussion about the Premier League and what's going on with that. Seeing as there's no Six Nations and there's no rugby this week. Well, there was Premiership.
I think we should pick a golf person each.
A golf. Why?
Because why not? It's something to talk about.
So yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
I remember on one of the old golf games I used to play, there was a geezer in a bunny suit.
A bunny suit.
I can't remember what his name is, but I'm going to find him.
You're going to find
and
him.
I'm going to find out what he's up to.
You're going to tell us
nowadays.
about him next
He
week.
used to wear a pink bunny suit, Alex.
A pink bunny
Which
suit.
I used to think, why is he wearing a pink bunny suit? It's quite sunny. He's out about playing golf.
Must be sweating.
I thought that, but then the weird thing was, he had 4 different bunny suits you could choose.
Yeah.
So when I play online with people, it would just be 4 people in bunny suits.
Everyone wearing bunny suits.
But he was very bad.
Yes.
So I don't think he does golf anymore.
No.
He probably works for like McDonald's or
Yeah,
something.
wouldn't be surprised. Well, let's start it off with the poll. That's usually how we start it.
Oh,
We put
yeah.
a poll up this week.
Big
Had some
poll.
pretty controversial ones in the past. Let me get it up on Instagram. This week, Kurt, we had.
I had a look at it and I didn't really notice any. When I looked, it was quite even.
Yes.
And then I looked a couple hours later, it was no longer quite even.
No, it didn't end very even.
No.
So this week, if you didn't see, we put a poll up asking our viewers where they put their chocolate. In the fridge or in the cupboard. Or if you've got some other weird place, you can tell us about it as well. Now, we had quite a lot. I think we had nearly 40 responses this week.
That's a lot of responses.
To start off, 69% of them said they go in the fridge. Chocolate goes in the fridge. And only 31 said that it goes in the cupboard. Now, we had quite a lot of verbal responses back for this, and there's quite a few controversial ones.
Now, I just want to say, when I did have a quick scan through these responses, I didn't actually see anyone suggest a good reason to keep it in the cupboard.
No, there was no good reason. Now, I think we discussed this earlier in the week, didn't we, Kurt? Let me just ask you first of all, where do you put your chocolate?
See, entirely depends on the chocolate.
Yes.
I think we both agree with that. But I'd say if it's just a chocolate bar, I'd say fridge.
Just like solid chocolate bar,
solid
your Dairy
chocolate
Milk,
bar.
your Galaxy,
Yeah,
something like
you
that.
don't want to put like
A double decker. Double decker doesn't
yeah.
go in the fridge. If it's got like soft in it, like a double decker is nougat, isn't it? And it's got you've got caramel in it and a caramel that doesn't go in the fridge.
Yeah,
because it just gets too hard. But when you've got solid chocolate,
something like a flake belongs in a fridge.
Yes, if you had a flake in a cupboard, that'd just be hell.
It does confuse because you're just gonna get it out. It's either gonna be half melted or it's just gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Like it's not the way to eat your flake.
You don't want it. Well, let's start on some of our we had somebody clearly didn't realise that chocolate can go in the cupboard, because he turned around and said, "Wouldn't it melt or something in the cupboard?" And that's a good point. If something like a flake is very brittle,
it doesn't really melt.
No,
I mean, in England,
soft. Yeah,
obviously in England, we're not known for our heat.
Yes, it's not hot enough.
Like, I reckon you could probably. I say that you could probably put a Twix or something in the garden and leave it there, and I'd say it would still take a good in the sun, in the summer. It'd probably still take a good 30 minutes to an hour to
actually melt properly. Yeah,
but I do still feel like it's sort of, when you're eating it, you don't want it to just sort of fall apart in your hands.
Absolutely.
Because obviously your hands are going to be warmer.
And you get that with like a twirl or with a flake, or even with a double decker. That crumbles.
Yep.
Anyway, next we've got, no one likes chocolate. Nobody likes soft chocolate. Let's be honest. So if you put your chocolate in the cupboard, it's going to go slightly soft.
I thought they were saying nobody likes like soft chocolate, like a Whisper. For a second, then
if you've got just go with a plain dairy milk chocolate bar.
Yeah.
You want that snap, then you want that bite to it.
You don't want it to just melt it.
Just be soft and chewy.
Although I don't know about anyone else, but I've been in that situation before where I've seen a chocolate bar and I go, I want to melt this chocolate bar.
Yes.
No reason. I don't even know what I'll do after I melt it, but I want to melt it anyway.
Yeah.
You get it in a saucepan and just melt it.
Well, we've had a few responses saying who wants soft chocolate. We've had 2 or 3 responses like that, which is a very good point. Nobody wants to eat a soft chocolate bar. Let's try and find one that talks about, makes for a crunchier finish. That says about the fridge. I want to try and find one that says anything about the fridge. Here we go. Somebody's responded. What psychopath? Well, it's not correct English there, but what psychopath puts chocolate in the fridge is what I'm assuming he's trying to say. Who doesn't put chocolate in the fridge?
Now, as we said, there are certain chocolates that don't belong in the fridge.
No.
So, you got as you said, double decker. I'd say most things like a Twix. If it's got a biscuit base, I'd say I wouldn't put it in the fridge. No. You don't want a hard Twix.
No.
That's not ideal. I'd say Galaxy with caramel in it. I'd say cupboard. I'd say you can put it in the fridge. I wouldn't be against it.
No.
But I could put it in the cupboard as well.
That's not too bad, because that's mostly chocolate. Something like a Twix is a bar that's covered in chocolate. It's not like a chocolate bar. It's a biscuit covered in chocolate.
Like it's a weird one, but I can see what they. I see what they're
someone's put only the fridge once it's opened, because otherwise it goes weird. I don't know about you, Kurt, but I've never had that problem, because I've never opened a chocolate bar and put it back until it's finished.
I mean, the chocolate bars are too small to have portions.
If you open one, you've got to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So let's find.
The thing is, I'm not a big chocolate eater, to be fair.
Somebody has said anyone who keeps it in the cupboard needs to be hung, drawn, and quartered. Well, strong belief against that. It's a very strong belief. We agree with you. Now, we've got a pretty serious one here. Somebody has said, sometimes even the freezer.
Right, that's too hard.
I've heard about this.
It's the same thing as you don't put something you're going to eat straight. Apart from ice cream, it's the only thing
that stays soft. If you don't put it in the freezer, it will melt.
The only thing that you can eat, in my opinion, after putting it in the freezer, straight from the freezer, is ice cream. I can't.
A chocolate bar, that's just. I mean, I know we're talking about we want a firm break, but that's a firm break of a chocolate bar, not your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be your teeth then.
Ouch.
Let's be honest.
Ouch.
That's a weapon. You could sharpen that and use it as a weapon.
Yeah, we've got somebody here completely agrees with us. They've hit the nail on the head here. It depends what chocolate. Like, would defo put a crunchy in the fridge, but wouldn't a dairy milk? Now that actually rereading
that's the other way around.
That's the complete opposite of what we're saying.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd put a crunchy in the fridge.
Because
I wouldn't
eat a crunchy.
No, a crunchy is one of those things where it's not a chocolate bar. It's honeycomb biscuit covered in chocolate. Dairy milk is just a chocolate bar.
It's the same idea of putting a chocolate digestive in the fridge. That's just there's no need.
You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. Cold chocolate has the same energy as BDSM, apparently. Well,
Okay.
Yep.
I think that person has some strong beliefs about
Yes.
BDSM. I think that's all we've learnt from that person.
Yes. And finally, we have somebody saying cupboard for caramel and soft things, fridge for hard chocolates like flake and 12. That is, I mean, that's just perfect. That's just a perfect answer. The best answer we've had. Yeah. So, in conclusion,
and if next week you want to be the best answer,
respond. Let's be honest. I think we can all agree. Chocolate doesn't go in the freezer. Absolutely not.
I can't. Maybe if you're putting it in an ice cream.
Yeah, it could work. Right, Kurt. I'm glad we've settled that debate. I think actually, we could talk about the debate from last week while we're talking about our polls. So the sit and stand. Now, we both agreed to have a look from the other one's perspective last week, and I've stuck to it. I'd say. What's your opinions on standing and wiping? Kurt?
Now, it's not been a strong week. You know, I've only gone to the toilet a few times. But what I will say is, you know, I ate quite healthily this week. I didn't really eat anything, you know, that was going to make my stomach go oof.
No.
I didn't have any beers.
No.
Didn't have like a curry.
No.
I did have a Chinese, but I only have chicken balls because I'm basic. So I'd say overall, it works. I can understand why people do it. I just feel like it's the same result either way, and it's just easier to do the other way.
You see, I will say I've tried to sit and do it this week, Kurt, and I've encountered a few problems with this.
What's the problem?
Well, it's just awkward. It's just awkward.
Awkward though.
It is awkward. If you're gonna you almost pop in a squat to lift the cheek off the seat. So you can get to it.
You don't just stay sitting down the whole time.
No, but it's in the. I'm leaning, but with the chance that you could
fall over.
Get not even just fall over, but lifting yourself off. There's a chance you could spread this to places you don't want it, i.e., your fucking hands or your back or something like that. Mate, it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk.
See, now I understand what you're saying, and I think after you give it a bit longer, you know, you give it yourself, after doing it for as many years as I have,
being an expert
in this field, I'd just have to say, you know, I wouldn't say trial and error because you don't really foul at it. No. If you foul it, there's something wrong.
Yes.
I just think, you know, you get used to it. You know how many wipes it takes, Alex. You know what I mean? Like, it's all technique. You know, it's not. You can't go into it with pure power because that's just painful.
Well, you've heard it here first. The expert of the sit and wipe, Kurt Lepler. Right.
It's the same thing as. It's ironically very similar to throwing a shot put.
I don't want to ask. Please explain.
Yeah, you could get the job done by just going in there and just yeeting it. Yeah. But it's all about the technique.
It's all about the technique.
You know what I mean?
And you've explained yourself. Kurt wipes his arse like he throws a shot.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on swiftly.
There's no spins with the wipe arse or anything.
Moving on swiftly.
Yep.
Right. Let's just ignore that. Where's your dream job? Moving on.
Shop at the front.
Okay, right.
No, genuinely, I reckon a shop at the front would be quite a chill job, you know. I'm thinking about it, because all you do is you just sort of go, I want to train my chest and shoulders.
That's it. And same thing in the gym every week.
And then you just eat a lot, really.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong, it's not easy when you get to competition time.
I can imagine being a professional shot put throw. It's probably a lot more complicated than we think. But stereotypically here, big heavy person that throws big heavy balls. Sounds like a sweet job to me.
Sounds like my sex life.
No, for
real.
Dream job.
Okay, I don't throw balls.
No.
For real. Apart from my own. So, dream job. Oof. Do you know what? I was supposed to think about this before we did the podcast, and I didn't. So, let's think.
It's right. It's going to be. That means it's going to be from the heart.
From the heart. Yeah, that's why I said shot put throw. Dream job. See, now this is the question with this. You can't just walk into a job.
We're not going to look.
You have to train.
We're not going to take like this. If you.
Because let's be honest, if I turned around and went, my dream job is to be a musician, but I know 3 chords.
Well, okay, let's look at it
I'd
from
be
the
like Ed Sheeran, then, wouldn't I?
yeah, you'd be Ed Sheeran. If we look at it from the perspective that we're not thinking about what it would take to become the job.
Are you just saying, like, you know, I woke up one day and I just had the ability of doing any job?
If a genie popped out of a little lamp somewhere or something like that and went, well, go on, Kurt.
Wow.
You can be and do whatever you want. I'll give you all the qualifications. I'll give you all the knowledge. I'll give you all the abilities you want.
Yeah.
What would you want to be?
An ant.
A what?
An ant.
An ant?
An ant. They live life so carefree. Have you ever seen an ant worry?
Okay. An ant isn't a job.
They have jobs. They have worker ants. I'll be a worker ant.
You'd be a worker ant if you could.
Do you know what? I'll be the best worker ant because I'll be huge. Like, they'd be like, oh, can you carry this leaf? I'm like, yeah, sure thing, then. I get a little worker.
So you wouldn't actually become a little ant.
No.
You'd just work as an ant.
But they'd pay me in, like, I don't know. Oh, that's the question. What would they pay me?
You couldn't make a living out of being an ant, could you?
I could work. I don't know. If they do, they could be a bank robber.
Do they pay well?
What if they think about it, I could mastermind a bank robbery with ants.
Yeah, true.
Ants can carry. Ants can carry a lot of like,
100 times their body weight or something.
I could organise a little bank robbery with ants to go steal like a gold bar from a bank.
Send 1 million ants in to pick up
and
£1
and I ain't
each.
got to do anything. I just got to just stand around.
Yeah.
And then I claim to be a worker ant, so the Queen don't get angry with me. And then before you know it, I don't really want to carry this story on that. I'm leading down.
You're just waffling at this point, aren't you? Yeah. Well, Kurt, it's glad to know that you.
I don't have very high aspirations, do I? I just sort of realised.
Well,
let me think of a correct answer. Like not correct, but a good answer. I'll
say mine. So it depends. It depends. Obviously, I'm a very keen rugby player, and since I was very little, I've wanted to be a professional rugby player. But that's just a bit of a boring job for me.
It's just a lot of, you know.
It's very stereotypical to say.
You spend hours. The problem is with being a rugby player, like it's an amazing job, but the amount of time you have no free time. No. You're just always working out and then running.
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love being a professional rugby player, and that's what I've aspired to be since I was little. But I don't know. I'd say when it comes to stereotypical jobs, a lot of, especially boys, will say, I want to be a footballer, I want to be a rugby player. So I think another one, especially with the career path, I'm doing engineering, I'm doing an apprenticeship at the moment. What I'd love to do, in the last couple of years, I've been really interested in like motorsport, especially like F1. I'd love to be like an F1 engineer for an F1 side. Like working.
Would you not want to drive it?
I mean, that's a step up. I'd love to be an F1 driver, but
isn't this your dream job?
Yeah, okay. Number one, F1 driver. If I couldn't make it as an F1 driver, I'd be an engineer. I'd be the head engineer in a pit for an F1 side, and just be in charge of designing and building and fixing these F1 cars. I don't know what it is. It's probably most of our listeners probably don't give a flying monkeys about that as a job, but personally that interests me. So I'd love to be an F1 engineer.
Thing is, there are loads. Like I'm thinking about, there are loads of jobs that when you look at, you go, that'd be amazing. Yeah. Like you got like first things that come to my head is like sort of jobs that they're really entertaining to do.
Yeah.
So like you go out and you just entertain people.
Yeah.
So you got your comedians, then you got your like proper entertainers, like your actors. Then you got sort of just random things like even like wrestling.
Yeah.
Being like a wrestler, like a WWE big star, that would be amazing. Because all you'd show up, you'd yeet someone around a ring for 20 minutes, half hour. Everyone goes, way! And then you go, I'll take my money.
Yeah.
And then you go.
We've got a friend who does wrestling, doesn't he?
We do have
Josh,
a friend
who does wrestling. Big up, Josh.
Big up, Josh. You're probably listening, hopefully. If you're not, why aren't you listening?
Yeah,
listen.
If you're listening, drop us a message. If you don't drop us a message this week, then we're going to be upset.
Yeah, well, especially after the shout out.
Yeah, we've given you a shout out now.
Josh Breen.
Josh Breen. Josh Breen.
If WWE are listening, Josh Breen.
Yes,
yeah?
Sign him up.
Sign him up. NXT UK. Yes. Them lot. Triple H. Good guy.
Yeah. No, the answer I was looking for, Kurt, the answer I was looking for a dream job was I was hoping you'd turn around and say podcaster. But...
See, I was genuinely going to say something along the line of sort of entertainer, but on the internet.
Yes.
Because I feel like, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier than waking up at like 5 in the morning to go to your, you know, every day for like
Office
5 days a
office
week,
job in London
office
or
job
something,
in
yeah.
London where you just sit there typing up accounts and just filling out forms.
We'll make it.
I'd definitely rather just go turn the mic on.
That's it.
Let's chat some shit. Like, Alex, what's your dream job?
Yeah.
Like,
We're gonna.
my dream job, actually, I've got it, will be to go to schools and go up to kids and go, what do you want to be when you're older? Because then I remember at school, someone did that to me, and I really felt like turning around and going, your job, because it looks very easy.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone.
all you have to do, their job is to sit in a room and go, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And then then people go, I want to do this. And then they go, all right, here's a form.
Yeah. No, how do you even get into that? Your job being asking other people what they want to do as a job.
I just love the idea of, like, you know, you're meeting, you got kids and that, and like your kids like mates with another family. You go over, you go have a chat with them. They go, oh, like the dad's like, oh, hello, I'm a builder. Blah, blah, blah. And you go, and then she goes, what do you do? And I'm like, I tell people, what's your job?
Yeah.
And then they go, I'm a builder.
Just go back and forth.
Is there anything else you'd like to do? I can give you some forms.
Yeah.
Like, that's an amazing job. Don't get me wrong, it probably doesn't pay it probably pays quite well, to be honest, it's for the council, isn't it? So,
so Kurt's dream job would be asking people what their dream job is.
yeah, because it's you can't really screw it up. Unless you go in one day and go, job what you're.
Well, Kurt, technically you're living your dream right now, because you asked me what my dream job was. So you're living your dream.
Yes.
You're living your dream job. I'm not paying you for it, but
I'll get whatever monetisation this podcast will get.
I'll get 2 pence or something like that.
That's another thing, right? You get us really famous, we'll tell you how much we earn.
Yeah.
Unlike all the other YouTubers that go and clickbait it. I earn this much, and they go, actually, I'm not going to tell you, but watch the video.
Yeah. We won't clickbait you. We won't clickbait.
No, we'll just do like a full hour and a half long podcast where we mention it really quickly in about 0.2 seconds. Yeah. Right at we're not going to tell you when.
Yeah,
but we'll just randomly go 28 quid.
But you just told them how much we earned on the last episode.
Oh, well, we wish.
We wish. Yeah.
You could pay for that on mic.
Yeah. Well, moving on from the dream jobs here, I thought we could just talk about a bit more, get people to know us a bit more. So you've talked about if you could have any job, what would it be? Let's talk about some of our favourite stuff.
Can I just say another job?
What's your other job?
Well, there's 2 more. Okay. Obviously, I would like to be, you know, quality bricklayer in the future. That'd be an amazing job. You know, it's still good earning job. Yeah. You know, when you're good at it, you earn quite a bit. It's quite an.
When
like,
you're not locked inside your house.
You can pick and choose your jobs as well. Yeah, it's quite nice. But there's another job, Alex. I want to work in a kebab van. A kebab. Now hear me out. Free doner meat.
Free. I can't agree.
You can't eat it. But all right, 3 years ago, Alex.
Yep.
Wouldn't you have taken us for free doner
meat? Maybe one day we'll buy our own kebab van. Maybe one day.
Yeah, but then what are you gonna sell? Salad?
What, you got to have salad somewhere.
Look, right.
Somebody wants salad on their
The worst thing you can buy in the world is a salad from a kebab van, because it's like warm. It's like it's sweating.
Yeah. Warm lettuce.
Yeah, it's like the lettuce has just gone on like a jog.
Yeah. Whoa. Right. I'm going to ask, what's your favourite food, Kurt?
Favourite food?
You can't say kebab now.
To be fair, it probably isn't a kebab.
No.
See, I like cooking food. Yeah. I like to cook my own food. So, the thing is, I never really have the money to make like when I do have the money to make a nice food, I'll go out and I'll go buy like a nice big joint of meat or something, and then I'll cook that up, I share it. I'll be like, yeah, it's yum, delish.
You sound Swedish for a second.
Yum. They go. Everyone comes over and they go, that was delish, my G, and I go, thank you, pagan. And then I normally get kicked out the house for an hour.
Gangster chef.
Yeah. Well, I have Curtin's Kitchen after all. You don't just make a show about cooking that you don't upload, because why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, I've seen it. So
yeah, a few people have seen it. To be fair, I think about 8 people now.
To be fair, not a lot of people know about Curtin's Kitchen. Should we keep it?
Not a lot of people know about me. Yeah, so most people who listen, hi, I'm Kurt.
And
nice to meet you. I like cooking and women. That is me.
Well, all right. What's your favourite food, Kurt?
My favourite food is do you know? I don't want to be basic and say pizza. But
No.
I like
okay.
Pizza.
I'll
Thing is, I haven't had a pizza in ages.
I'll reword the question because it might make you think a bit more. If you were on death row
Death row.
and you could have any one last meal,
I'd confuse them.
what would you want?
An eyeball.
An eyeball. You'd ask for an
I'll say I
eyeball.
want a fish's eye.
Why?
And I'd only ask for one, just so they have to use. so they're really confused. So
Okay, that really hasn't worked. That question.
No, it really hasn't.
Okay.
No, because I like the ones when they do like their like the videos on YouTube. It's like the weirdest last meals that people have asked for, and it's like really bizarre, like a single chicken nugget. And I'm like that. I would do that just to confuse someone.
Yeah.
Like I love the idea that they have like the geezer who's got to go get someone who's got to go get this food for this guy. And if you go up to him and go, I need to get a fish's eye. Where's he going to look?
Yeah, that is true.
If someone said to me, Kurt, get me a fish eye for next week, I'd genuinely have a panic attack and I'd be like, I don't know where. I'll just go South End and find a fish and just beat it. Like
punch the fish.
Give me your eye. There'll be an eyeless fish.
So is that your final answer?
No, I would.
Fish's eye.
My favourite food is not a fish's eye. Alex.
What is your favourite food? Then?
Do you know what? I do love a roast.
Oh, you've stolen my one.
Now, don't worry. My one's got meat on it.
Oh.
Because a roast has meat, Alex.
Okay.
You can't have a roast without meat. If you ask anyone what a roast involves, they'll either say chicken or another type of meat. They don't normally or Yorkshires. Yorkshires are my favourite in a roast.
Oh, I love Yorkshire puddings.
Like I could probably have just a plate of. Well, I have had a plate before of just Yorkshire puddings and gravy.
Yes.
Like I've not gonna, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's such a cheap meal. So, but
not the most nutritious, but
don't talk down about Yorkshire puddings, right?
Okay.
They give you there's egg in there somewhere. There's other things. Flour's probably a part of it.
Are we agreeing then?
I'd say roast dinner, but
roast dinner.
What's on your roast dinner? I'm intrigued to know what's a vegetarian's roast dinner involved.
Everything a normal roast would have. Just instead of meat, I'll have a meat replacement.
So it's like that corn or something.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes they do a lot of stuff. Do you know
what?
Switch it up. Might have some sausages with mine.
Do you know what? I'm not a big fan of just sausages in a roast. I feel like it's not right.
No.
Like, I think if you're having sausages, you've got to have sausages in a bun, or just like sausage sandwich, or just sausage and chips. You can't have, in my opinion, in a roast it's wasted.
Sausage is wasted in a roast.
Yeah, like if you're gonna have a proper roast, like don't get me wrong, if you're just gonna put a bit of gravy, a bit of mash, and a sausage, I wouldn't call that a roast. No. I'm talking a roast. It's like you got your big bit of mash, you got Yorkshire puddings, you got stuffing, you got proper potatoes. Roast potatoes are the best. Like I never really have mash with a roast because
only at Toby Carvery.
Well, the thing is, my dad makes amazing roast potatoes, and I don't know how he makes them, so I just copy him. But the problem is they take so much longer than anything else. Like, I'll be cooking potatoes before I even start cooking anything else. Yeah. But my favourite meat to have in a roast dinner is probably something along the lines of. See, I really like gammon joints. I love a gammon joint, but I'd say minted lamb chops.
Lamb chops. Look at you being fancy, eh?
They are probably the best. You can, because the thing is with minted lamb is it's just so nice.
I love listening to you. You just now we've gone on to like roast dinners.
The thing is,
right coming out in your element, aren't you?
I'm trying to think. Thing is with a gammon joint though, they're big, so you have it for other meals, and you can have gammon in a sandwich.
There's a lot of science. There's a lot of science behind this. Who would want to hear Kurt start his own podcast about roast dinners?
It's just. I just don't like. It annoys me how people just go, "Oh, I don't like roast dinners." So how do you? Clearly, your roast dinners are so plain.
Yes, you can't be British.
It's just a bunch of like I don't know peas.
If you don't like roast dinners, we'd love to hear from you because.
Thing is, I'm not
pathetic.
Pathetic. That's shameful. I think that is worthy of the death penalty, and the Queen will disobey you. Yes. Disobey? No.
Disobey.
She'll disobey.
Discipline.
Okay. Discipline.
Favourite drink, Kurt? Favourite drink.
At the moment, Pepsi Cherry Max, I'd say.
Pepsi. Mm.
I think I don't like tea. I just can't.
I can drink tea. I don't like coffee.
Just I'm not a big fan of warm drinks. I can drink a hot chocolate, but I'd rather not. I'd rather a milkshake.
Yeah.
And in terms of other drinks. I don't mind orange juice.
Yeah, I quite, yeah.
Things I like orange squash. I'm not a big fan of pure orange juice, but I prefer apple juice.
I quite like.
And now
I'd say apple juice.
apple
is
juice
my
is
favourite.
better than orange in my opinion. Like pure apple juice is better than pure orange juice. But just because pure orange juice, you know, it's just so like you can't just enjoy it.
No.
It's so strong. You're like, oh Jesus. Whereas apple juice.
Let's
so
try and
nice.
let's try and get through. We've got a long old list here. So
So
what are you saying? Favourite drink? Pepsi Cherry Max.
Pepsi Cherry Max. What's yours?
Apple juice.
Apple juice.
Straight apple juice. Straight from the apple. It's got to be done.
Straight from the apple.
Straight from the apple.
Straight from
Crash it with my bare hands.
Sure, you make your own apple juice.
No, just from a carton.
Oh, so you lied. To me.
Yeah, I'm completely lying. Favourite movie? Favourite film, Kurt? Have you got a favourite film?
I used to. I'm trying to remember what it was. Do you know what? It's probably at the moment. Well, I say at the moment. I haven't seen it in about a year and a half, maybe even 2-3 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny.
Oh yeah, what a film! What a great
What a
film.
film. Actually, a film that I watched recently that I'm a big fan of is The Gentleman.
Oh yes, I was going to say that's a class film. It's on Amazon now, isn't it?
And Snatch as well. That's quite a good one.
I'd say my favourite film is. I don't know.
See,
There's
I'm not a big
films that I can watch over and over
I'm not a
again.
big fan of rewatching films, my problem is I'm very specific with genres. Like I don't watch many genres. I normally just watch like comedy stuff. But in terms of like a suspense and that, Seven, like a film like Seven.
Oh, Seven, yeah.
Like that is a mad film.
Yeah.
But it's not. You can't watch Seven very often.
No.
Like it's once a year, maybe even in 2 years.
No, I can't watch.
And it's
films
sad
over and
as
over.
well. So you just puts you in a mood where you're like, I don't want to talk to anything.
Right. We've got my favourite film. I'm probably going to say the Pursuit of Happiness. Have you seen that with Will Smith? Mate, cracks me up every time. I've got two different types. I quite like a sob, sad film.
I don't
and
like
that is
them
great.
films.
It's just a brilliant film, and I'm not going to lie, it's brought me to tears a couple of times. If I'm going to go with a happier film,
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever shed a tear over a film.
No.
My problem is I can't take anything serious enough. Like I seriously can't. Like that's why I can't watch horror films. Everyone goes, "Oh, it's scary." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure it is." Oh, the big scary ghost.
Yeah.
No, it just no. Like even Saw, I just laugh. I'm just like, it's so stupid.
No, I find myself crying at films way too much. I think.
The thing is, I can make you cry by just tell you a sad story, Alex. Like
pretty emotional.
I could just sing you a song about like Pac-Man falling and dying, and you'll probably shed a tear.
Yeah. If I had to go with a happier film, I think I'll go. I'm sorry, but Moana, Disney film.
Do you know what?
I love it.
It's a quality film, but when you have two sisters that watched it every day for about a year, all I could hear through my wall is, "What can I say?" Except, and I just used to want to cry.
Yeah.
That's the only film that's made me cry. Then, Alex,
Yeah.
is Moana, because I've heard the song so many times, and it hurts my head now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. Let's go with teams, Kurt.
Teams?
Your favourite sports team? So
It's got to be Manchester United.
football side.
Manchester United, isn't it?
Manchester United. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I can't even say England because England annoy me.
Yeah. What about rugby? Is there a rugby team?
Do you know what? I've never supported a rugby team. But like when I started playing rugby, obviously I was mates. Like the person who got me to play rugby properly was probably Tyler and Theo, and they and like when I was like, I've got to buy a kit. Tyler was like, "Get wasps," and I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, I support him." And I was like, "That's nice, but I don't know anything about it." Like looking at it from as a football fan, like it confuses me how you I don't have a team almost for rugby, but I just don't. Like the thing is, I don't even watch like rugby, like a league, or union obviously, but like I don't watch the league. I just sort of. It's just sort of
to be fair, it's one of those things where most football fans in this country watch the Premier League
I don't even watch
as
the
well
Premier
as
League.
as well as international games, where most of your casual rugby fans really only watch your international matches and don't really watch the Premiership. Which I mean, is fair enough. I'm an Arsenal fan. Don't slate me, please don't. And I'm a Northampton Saints fan, and for once, Northampton Saints are doing well. Had a big win on the road yesterday. So, what about animal, Kurt? What's your favourite animal?
Are you talking like an animal, like a pet sort of animal,
Any
or
animal.
just any animal?
Any animal on the planet.
The favourite animal I know is Boss,
Boss.
because Boss is Boss. Boss
Yeah.
was in my bed all morning. He just kept hitting
Well,
me.
you don't
with
need
his
to tell us
tail.
about your personal
No,
life.
he
do you?
really, like, even though he annoyed me, I was like, I can't even be mad at him. Like, it was funny.
Continuation from Valentine's Day.
He just he woke me up this morning about 4 or 5 times because he just got really excited. Nothing happened. Like, I was asleep and I'm the
Yeah.
only one in my room, and his tail just got, and he's huge, so his
Yeah.
tail would whack me in the face, and
Yeah.
I'll be awake, and it would hurt
concussion.
so much.
Concussion.
But I'll be annoyed. But I'd say you gotta love dogs. You know, you
Yeah.
don't like dogs. What's wrong? I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people that are scared of dogs, and I can understand it. If I was walking down the street and Boss just ran at me, I would also be scared.
Oh, he's bigger than us, isn't he?
Well, yeah,
Enormous.
he's rugby tackled. But I think dogs are probably, the best sort of, pet thing.
Yeah.
But my favourite sort of animal, it's either a sloth or a turtle. I love a turtle. And you can call a turtle Master Oogway.
Yeah,
And if anyone, a tortoise, sorry,
Turtles.
Turtles swim, yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the water. I do like
Turtles are cool
as
as well.
Turtles are pretty cool. But I like sloths. Ever since I saw the David Attenborough one with the sloth swimming, it's just, it's so
Okay.
mesmerising. Just the way I just love how they move. Like, they're just so much fun. Like, I could have one as a pet and just leave it in the corner of my room and I just watch it. I was like, what is it doing? I don't even know. Like, it doesn't even know what it's doing itself. It just sort of moves really slowly and then sort of goes halfway to doing something and then goes, I can't be arsed now. And goes back. Like, it's amazing. The way they climb. And I didn't even know they could swim. I just assumed they move too slowly to swim.
Yeah.
But
Sleep
he
most of the
swims.
day.
That's the thing. It's sort of, the sloth's sort of my spirit animal. You could say.
Yeah, I see
That's rude.
that.
You're
I'd
supposed to say no. You're a lion. And I'm going to go, oh, thank you.
I'd say
We're a wet sponge. Your spirit animal's a wet sponge.
wet sponge.
Yeah.
My
No, it's not. It's a cowardly goat.
Cowardly goat. My favourite animal is a koala, but
I don't mind.
I do
koalas.
really like tortoises.
Koalas are nice. Tortoises, they're just amazing as well.
No, giant tortoises.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I would like to say I take it that Alex's spirit animal is not what I said. It's a curious goat.
Curious goat. I'll take that. I will take that. Right, we're going to touch on one more because we have got a big topic to talk about today.
Oh no.
And I'm going to ask you one more thing, Kurt, and I'm going to
Yes.
ask you what your favourite superhero is.
Oh, that's actually quite. Do you know? It's a weird one because obviously I never really read any of the comics or anything, but I sort of have a rough idea what the hell's going on. Well, I don't actually.
Yeah.
I've just seen videos.
I
on
think we can
YouTube.
establish that this is
So,
going to be from
This will be from.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No, I was going to say Homelander.
Homeland.
Yeah, he's my favourite.
from
He's-
the boys.
Yeah, he's my favourite. He's
Nobody likes
such a
Homeland.
noble man.
Nobody likes Homeland. If
Okay.
you haven't seen The Boys yet on Amazon, watch it. What are you
A-Train.
doing? What a brilliant
Yeah,
TV show.
it's when season 3 comes out, we're bound to talk about it.
100%,
It's just we spoke about it so much
Yeah.
during season 2 that
Yeah,
I think it was our only conversation
Yeah.
point for about
Yeah.
a month.
I loved it. I loved it. I might rewatch it again. To be fair.
I
I've
am
got so
tempted
much
to
spare
rewatch
time.
it. Yeah, but favourite superhero. Do you know what? Vision has been quite like since WandaVision's come out. I'm like,
Yeah.
Vision's such a good guy,
Yeah.
but it's got Iron Man is like just Robert Downey Jr. plays him so well
Yeah. He's a good
that
actor.
like he's such a relatable superhero. Whereas I've never been a fan of Captain America. He's just too much of like a good man, good ethics,
Yeah.
good everything, good posture. Like
Yeah.
no, it's just too much. And he's an America.
Captain Britain is what we need.
Yeah.
It'd just be
Why don't-
fat
why
bloke,
can't we have, like-
fat bloke with a
why
pint
can't we
of
have,
Stella in his hand.
Captain Bulldog or something.
Yeah.
Like he's just got like an army of bulldogs.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing. But
You're gonna go with Iron Man.
obviously Iron Man and Spider Man are like two amazing.
Spider-Man's
ones.
cool.
Spider-Man is just. The thing is with Spider-Man, everyone grew up with Spider-Man
Yeah.
because there's been so many different types of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's not just.
I'm in love with the new version of Tom Holland Spider-Man.
To be fair,
Right.
Doctor Strange grew on me.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't really rate the first one.
No.
But in the other films, he's like.
He's been very
He's quite-
vital character.
And
a very
he's
vital
quite
character.
funny as well.
Yeah.
But that's just Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I like him from like Sherlock
Yeah.
as well. So
So what? Final answer is Iron Man.
yeah, I think it would probably be Iron Man.
Okay.
It's a very basic answer,
Yeah.
but you know.
Mine is probably Thor. Now that's a debatable thing
actually, no,
because
I didn't even think of
you
Thor.
say superhero, but he's not
more
really
a
super.
god.
He's a god. he is a
But the thing
god.
is with Thor is that like if you watch the first 4 films, I wasn't a fan of
No.
Thor, but the Ragnarok was so good.
Yeah.
But it almost like
he
you
just
forget.
gets better and better.
Yeah. Groot.
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 If I had to
Groot's-
talk about like secondary characters in the Marvel universe, what's his name? Korg, the Rock
Korg.
Man from
Thing is with
Ragnarok.
Korg, I wouldn't put. He's just
great.
he's not even a secondary character.
No,
he's
he's
like
not.
a 5th
Yeah,
character.
but
he's so,
honestly, his little appearance in Ragnarok is so funny. His
He's
little
so good.
Kiwi accent is brilliant. What a guy!
Yeah,
What
he
a
was
guy.
brilliant in that. But yeah, like Thor, I completely forgot. You know what? I completely forgot about Thor
Yeah,
when we were talking about it. Thor just went out of my head.
he's got to be the best.
There's
He's
so
gotta be the
many
best.
now. There's so many superheroes.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was probably bottom. It's just like so.
She's just too powerful. She's just too good.
It's just so much like. I don't even want to.
Cocky, isn't she? She's cocky.
Let's just Brie Larson as well.
Yeah.
She's so annoying.
All right, Kurt. Let's get deep.
Deep.
Let's get deep.
Hmm.
Main topic for today's episode, Kurt.
Mm.
Somebody suggested that we talk about animal ethics when it comes to
Yes.
the animal industry.
Is it like testing on animals?
Yeah,
Is it more
all
the
sorts.
Food
So-
side, or is
So
it?
the meat production, dairy, poultry, everything.
I've got all right. Okay.
First of all, just the whole broad with like animal testing. And,
Now
and
I haven't
slaughtering
done
of
any
animals.
research on any of this. Have you?
I haven't done any personal research. I have had somebody has sent in a big old pad of notes. I'll thank Poppy for this. Poppy has helped me out here, given us a few talking points.
Hello, Poppy.
Hello, Poppy. Yeah, we're getting a shout out. Giving everyone shout outs today.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, but
Good friend of
we've got a couple points to talk about. Obviously, I've got quite strong thoughts on this because it's the reason I'm vegetarian. Yeah, here we go. But
I eat
I want to
salad
get yours.
now. Therefore
I want to
I'm
get
better
yours.
than you.
Yeah. This is why this is going to make a good debate, Kat. This is why it's going to make a good debate.
Right. What am I talking about?
Let's start off with a whole broad spectrum when we're talking about the testing, the slaughtering,
Obviously,
everything of animals. What is your opinions on it?
I think it's all right to put lipstick on a bunny. I feel like that's, you never know, the bunny might like it. I can't say I've ever asked a bunny or a bunny's ever said that they like it, but Roger Rabbit, he wore lipstick once. I'm pretty sure. He was a cartoon. Don't get me wrong.
You knew him personally, did you?
No, but you didn't have to with Roger.
No.
Roger was a good guy until the COVID hit.
Yeah.
Then Roger turned bad. Rabies. Roger Rabies. But look, right. So obviously it's wrong.
Yep.
Like it is wrong, but it's got to meet the demands, isn't it? And there's not many other ways of doing that. Naturally, most animals just don't bang as much as they need to.
Now, yeah, I hear this argument quite a lot. People talk about
You look at pandas.
what.
They're the most you just bang. It's
Yeah.
not that hard. Like the fact that there's someone has to dress up as a panda
Yeah.
just to get them to bang.
Yeah. People make a lot of points about the usefulness of these animals. A lot of these animals don't serve any
I'm not
purpose.
Carl Pilkington.
No.
Now Carl would bring up the thing of he doesn't care about these animals. They don't. They have nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
A squid, kill it.
Yeah.
It's 99% water. I think he said. Oh no, that's a jellyfish.
Yeah,
99% water, maybe 1% more. No difference.
He's got a good point.
But then it's the long-term effects of that sort of makes you go, well, maybe there is a point in jellyfish.
Food chains.
But then jellyfish, they just baffle me anyway. They don't even have eyes. Get eyes.
Yeah.
Floating around. Sort yourself out.
All right. I've got a couple of points here. So
Alright, I'm listening.
let me have a read through this.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to sort of keep me on track because I will just blabber. I'll end up talking about Gears of War.
Okay, right. So we spoke about dogs earlier. Obviously, dogs are one of your favourites.
Wolves, dogs.
Well, let's talk about the ethics behind like selective breeding in dogs. So obviously there's a big
It's a weird
It's
one.
a big
selective
issue.
breeding, isn't it? Like I'm not. I can understand why people do it,
Yeah.
but they do it to an extent where it's sort of a bit,
Yeah.
bit bizarre.
It
Yeah.
can. So for anybody who doesn't understand, it's basically over the last however many, probably last couple hundred years.
Probably longer than that.
Yeah, dogs have been kept as pets, and obviously, if you go back hundreds and hundreds of years, dogs were used for hunting. Dogs were
Yeah, and
used
if you
for
go back even
guarding.
further, the Flintstones used to have dinosaurs to do this thing for them.
Yeah, exactly.
They used to have a big pelican, I think it was. It was their cement mixer.
Yeah, so
animals are useful.
you told me to keep you on track, and you're talking about the Flintstones. Right, so
I'll be quiet.
Yeah, with the dog breeding, they've selectively bred dogs to look and act in a certain way and do certain things. And
It's like Boss. Boss is natural. Like if you go back a while ago, his face would not have been what it looks like.
No.
His head is not naturally that big. He's been bred to have a bigger head, and like that's a bull mastiff.
Yeah, and in some
for people
in some
who just
cases,
don't understand what I'm talking about.
yeah, in some cases they breed for actual use. They breed for hunting. They breed for like sheep dogs. They're to protect things. But in most cases, they breed for appearance.
Look, yeah.
They breed to make them look. And
I don't agree with breeding to make they're worth.
So you've got a dog
confusing,
like a pug, for example.
Oh, I love a pug.
Cute as anything,
woof, woof.
but because of the selective breeding to the pug and the shape and the structure of their head, they have so many issues that these animals die so young for a dog because they've been selectively bred to look like that. They have so many issues especially with their brain, and I don't agree with that personally.
See, I feel like it's one of them ones where obviously selective breeding has caused it. Yeah. But I don't think they would have thought of that when they were doing it.
No. I can't imagine they intended to.
Yeah, like that's not what they were trying to go for. No. That's just accidentally happened. And I feel like when it comes to like selective breeding, I don't feel like it's there. Like the person who's doing it, don't get me wrong. There are people out there that just keep own loads of dogs, just keep them in little cages. Yeah. You know, and select them. Yeah, like that. That is wrong. But if you've got like 2 dogs, different breeds, and they have some pups. Yeah. And they are like valuable, they are worth money, then I can that's all right.
The ethics behind it is weird because I'd say
but it's the same as most things. You can abuse it a lot of things it can be okay until a certain point.
You could. It's just there was no thought put into this. Where obviously it's spread over hundreds and hundreds of years to breed these animals into what they are today, but it's wrong. It's wrong. At the end of the day, it's wrong to breed an animal to the point where it can't live its whole life without being in pain. Yeah. But just to make it look better for you.
But then I guess the argument is also that that's not what they intended. I think that's
they don't have to intend to.
Yeah, but you can't go back.
No, that's what I mean. It's one of those things now that you can't just stop doing it. These animals have been selectively bred, and they will continue to be. We can stop selectively breeding, but that's not going to stop pugs from existing.
Like, I can understand. Like, don't get me wrong, it isn't good that they're doing this, but it's at the point now where it's like, well, what do you want them to do? Yeah, they can't go. You can't reverse this now. We'll just do it. We'll just go. Or you go back in there.
Yeah, we can't reverse it.
They're going to put them back and then come back as different.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's what it is. There's not. You can't really change it. The only way to change it would to be carry on or selective breeding to try and change it to a point where they're better.
Let's go on to a bit more about the meat side of things because this is probably where we're going to spark a bit of a debate. Lamb. Let's talk about cows to start off with.
Moo cows.
So one of the things I see once as well is this. How do I put this? So one of the biggest issues when the cows are going through this almost like a machine that gets them ready for slaughter. Yeah. There is, I can't remember what the number is, but a lot of the cows in there can see what's happening in front of them. It's almost like a conveyor belt where they are moved to be killed. Yeah. The cows on this machine know what's going to happen, and in some cases can be stressed so much by seeing this that they die on the conveyor belt. Spoils the meat, spoils everything. It's a waste of an animal because you can't use it anymore. And even the ones that don't die can be stressed out so much that the meat can't be used and it's thrown away. What do you not think that's
wrong? It's wrong, but at the same time, like as we said earlier, you can't. There's no other real unless you're gonna like. So many people eat meat that there's so many people that just aren't gonna stop eating meat just because it's bad for the cows.
Yeah.
Like, but what's the other alternative? There isn't really like the only other alternative is to manually go around and go, all right, take this cow, walk the cow over somewhere so the other cows can't see it, kill the cow. It's just sort of.
I understand that now. It's not even now.
The world's just so high.
Yeah,
everyone.
Let's be honest. The vast majority of people eat meat, and it would be impossible as a vegetarian to me say I would love to see everyone take the same lifestyle. But it's never going to happen because there's no way on. It's impossible to say that everyone is going to become a vegetarian because not everyone's going to do it. There's always going to be a demand there, but it doesn't make it any more right what is happening, especially in these factories and
True,
the way these animals are treated.
If you go back many years, it would have been similar. It wasn't machines that did it, but they would have been kept in like little areas, killed in front of each other, and that would have been like many years ago. Like, it's just always been the way, and it's only gotten to a point now where I feel like people are going, "Oh, it's terrible," but what they don't think is it's been like that the whole time. It's just they haven't seen it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. In recent years, there's been loads of laws. There's been loads of.
It's changing, I'd say, for the better.
The Animal Welfare Act, for example, you've got a lot of things bringing these animals so that at least while they're alive, they can live in comfort. But let's look at like caged chickens, for example, being confined in a cage for so long, their whole life. These chickens, what's one of the things they do? I've got written down here that the caged chickens, they can develop like skin disease, so they want to pluck their feathers. They want to pull their feathers out because their feathers are falling out. So the farmers genuinely cut down the chicken's beak so it can't pluck its own feathers, so that it appears more appealing. Another thing with chickens, I see it in a. It wasn't a documentary about animal. It was actually quite the opposite. It was called I can't remember. It was a bloke in America who lives off McDonald's. He lives off McDonald's for a year, so he eats McDonald's for a year. And there's two different documentaries. And the second one, he starts his own fast food restaurant, and in it he goes and buys a warehouse and has his own chickens. Now they're free. You say they're free range, but he bends the law a bit and he says they're free range. All he's got to do to make them free range, he's got this barn. It's all indoors, hundreds of chickens, and the only thing he has to do to make it free range is have a tiny pen where the chickens can go outside for an hour a day, and that is it. And that's what makes them free range chickens. These chickens are bred so that their normal growth process from hatching to fully sized adult chicken is a couple of years. They're selectively bred to grow in 6 months. 6 months to go from chick to full size chicken, just so they can produce the meat.
Yeah.
And it causes health problems. At least 25% of the chickens die before they reach adulthood, and then they're slaughtered straight away.
The thing is with that, it's the same problem as with the cows. It's always been very similar to that. In fact, there used to not even be any laws against it, and I think the problem that's just the thing is with current days. It's so easy to find stuff out. Yeah. Like you could search it up and you can pull up like a farm with like that exact thing happening. But whereas like 100 years ago, that would have been the case. It probably wouldn't have been it might have been as bad, it might not have been. Probably wouldn't. Like it might have not even been allowed out. It might have been like kept in little cages and just kept there. But it's as I said, it's just the supply and demand. Really, you can't really. It's just what it is. Yeah. Because let's say we all just decided, we're gonna get rid of all that. Like it's all wrong. That's wrong. But then there are also farms where that doesn't happen. Yeah. Like I watched a video like on TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok, and there was a chicken that's laid an egg, just chilling, next to her egg. Geezer opens the cage, picks the eggs up, and just yeeted it at a wall. Now I was like, that's wrong. Yeah. Like as you would be. And then he did a video afterwards explaining that chicken has no attachment to the egg. No. He can't think. It doesn't know. It's just like it's an egg. It doesn't really know what's going on. So it doesn't really. But at the end of the day, it's still wrong to do that. But then the argument is, it's his chicken. He's only got like 3 chickens, and it's in a massive garden. The chickens don't know what's going on. They don't care. They're just living life as a chicken. Yeah. So it's sort of. It's a moral. Yeah, it's all a moral and ethics issue. I agree, but it's not like there are certain places where it isn't like that. No, And I say there's
and you
more
say
places that aren't like that than there are.
There's a lot of
like
if when you find these mass production places, like when you've got the farms that give the meat to McDonald's, for example, they're not worried about. If you're looking for a small butchery that has its own farm of animals, you're more likely to find someone that can follow all the laws and they've got a farm of animals that
are
that
well
are
kept after.
well kept after. And still, don't get me wrong.
Obviously,
I disagree with them being killed entirely.
But then I guess the argument of that is, you've got to do it. You know what I mean? It's how they earn their money
nowadays.
But
it's more these mass where 95% of these meat is for these fast food restaurants where they don't care about the animals. They care about money, getting the meat and selling it.
Yeah, like that. I think obviously the big ones where they are clearly doing it, like with no moral. Yeah. Like they're just doing it because to get paid at the end of the day. I can't see that. That's wrong. But there are so many that are just normal farms. It's just a guy, he's got his cows. He kills the cows. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But then just look at like Gordon Ramsay. He had loads of cows, and but he grew an attachment to them. I'm pretty sure he didn't kill them in the end, or something stupid like. Yeah. But then it's not like he changed his ways. I'm pretty sure they're probably dead now. Yeah. Like it's Gordon Ramsay. He's probably made a burger. But it's like it's a weird one because there's not much really you can say about it other than it's a moral thing. At the end of the day, it's not going to get changed, is it? It's slowly changing.
More and more people on the planet are becoming vegetarian.
But then the big argument is a lot of people say, we're supposed to live off just this, like just one thing. It's just not the case.
No, it's not.
The body is naturally designed over this whole time to be able to consume both. Yeah. For a reason. Yeah. To have.
Obviously, there's
supplements and stuff. Yes, there is. Supplements are. It's the same thing as when you're going to the gym and you're not getting enough calories, so you take a protein shake or something. Yeah, you don't get me wrong, it's not bad for you, but it's not a meal.
You can do
it's
it
not a proper meal.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. A lot of the arguments you're getting, we could probably touch this on a further episode because I know you've done a course in is it personal training? You did the course in, and you would have obviously done some dietary stuff. So obviously we can get into another conversation at another time about the nutrition side of stuff because I can understand that because there's a lot of stuff because the body is built to have let's be honest, I'm not going to turn around and say the body's built to only eat plant. It's not. No. It's not. The body is designed to have a balanced diet. You're supposed to eat meat and you're supposed to eat.
See, that's my big problem with when you go on like Netflix and you watch like a documentary about people who just like I remember watching one, I can't remember the name of it. It was on Netflix and it was like it went through like just eating, obviously it was a vegetarian thing. So no meat supplements or any of that stuff. And it showed like, it has a massive, like one of the world's strongest men, vegetarian geezer, and it was like talking to him, spoke to a load of athletes that were all vegetarian.
Oh yeah, all the UFC fighters and stuff like that.
And but it starts off and it literally the documentary starts off with a lie. Right? It talks about I can't remember if it was the Romans or something. Like they're the warriors back in the day from where they were talking about. They were like, we looked at their like teeth and we looked at all that and it said that they didn't eat fish. But what they didn't tell you is that they were about I think it was like 200 miles inland. Yeah. I'm like, how are they going to get fish? Yeah. In like 1,000 years ago.
You're in a landlocked city.
It makes no fucking like. Of course they're not eating fish.
No. Yeah, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. Anybody who tries to tell you that if you hear a vegan that says that everyone should just eat plants, that's not the way it's designed. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean you can't do it. You can live off it,
but then you can also live with just eating meat. Yeah. That's the argument. Like,
and there is ways either way. Obviously, my thoughts on it is that I'm doing it for ethical and moral reasons. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you're going to die if you just live off meat. Or you're going to die if you just because that's not the case. That's never the case. But I don't.
There's
want to touch
and negatives
on
of both. Yeah. At the end of the day, like Joe Rogan, for example, he did a big thing. He ate meat for I think it was just meat, like for I think it was nearly a month. I think it was. Or he might have done it for longer, but I only saw it for about a month. And he's talking about it. And he said, like he was told, like he was going to struggle like big on it because he's not getting the carbs, or he's not getting like all the stuff that you need like for energy. Yeah. But he said that after 2 weeks he felt better than he ever had. Yeah. Because he's just turned around. At the end of the day, his diet is balanced enough with the meat that he eats that he's okay. Yeah. But all meat, like everything's different at the end of the day. All meat's different. All plants give you everything gives you different nutrients at the end of the day. Like if you went out and just ate rabbit, you'd die.
Yeah. There's always a big argument between veggie people and people who just want to eat meat because they both believe they're right.
What annoys me is that you can't. There's no documentary. There probably might be, but I've never seen a documentary out there that talks about vegans and just meat eaters fairly. They always lie.
It's always going to be biased. It's always going to be biased.
It's always biased, but it's the way that they do the lies. Like that lie I was talking about earlier, where they were like, "Oh, we looked at these skeletons. We looked at their teeth. They didn't eat fish." Yeah. But then what you didn't go is, they didn't eat fish, but it was 1,000 years ago, and it was about 300 miles that way to get any fish.
They couldn't get any fish.
It doesn't. It's not like what they're saying is true. But through their point of view,
it's not in context.
You can't, you don't see many documentaries out there that go straight down the line. Like, all right, this is this. Like you, in that documentary, I think they did say a few things that were positive about meat, but then they'd spend so long just like bashing just random things. Like they made like food for like these 3 NFL players. I think one was vegan, one ate like meat and veg, and the other one just had a meat one, and they looked like their blood, but then. What they did was they gave the guy the meat, the fattiest, like the most worst meat you can possibly give someone, and they gave the guy who ate just the veg, like it was lettuce. Yeah. And then they looked at their blood. And I'm like, that doesn't tell you anything. No,
that's not bad.
Because I'll tell you what, I bet if you asked them all how hungry they were, I bet the one who just ate the meat is not that hungry compared to a guy who just ate some lettuce.
Yeah. All right. One more point I wanted to make was about the dairy industry.
Yeah, the dairy industry is a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, but it is like the cruelest. So these animals are, especially in mass production, when we're talking about milk and cheese and stuff, the females that produce, first off, they're all artificially inseminated. If you don't know what that is, they don't have sex to produce their own children with another male cow. They artificially do it. And what they do is they make them pregnant, and the second the baby is birthed, they take it away. If it's a female, they chuck it on a pile and they grow it up somewhere else on the farm to be the next line of dairy cows. If it's a male, it's sent away to be killed. And then the females, they're locked up, they're milked, and that milk that's supposed to be for the baby cows is then taken away and used for all the dairy products. Now, the biggest thing for me there is it's just the male cows. It's just straight up. If it's a female, it's put in a room, put in a barn and grown up so that it can live like its mum and do the same thing. If it's a male, these dairy farms don't have they don't earn a lot of money. They don't have the facilities or the money to look after meat and male cows as well as dairy cows. So the second that they have to send them off to a slaughterhouse to be killed.
Yeah. Like, I think we're at that point again where it's money. If they don't have the money for something, it's not really, like, there is no other way of getting around it other than doing what they do. Like, don't get me wrong, it's wrong again. But let's be honest, but then there are places that don't do that as well. Yeah. Like, the way we're doing it is we're looking at the bad side, but then there is a good side. Yeah. We're not really touching the good side of it. Like, don't get me wrong. There is the bad side is very bad, but there are a lot of farmers out there that aren't like that.
Yeah, I can't speak on behalf of all of them. Yeah, a lot of farmers might want to raise their male cows, and that's what I mean. But when we talk about the mass production, that's only because that's probably a good 90% of the entire industry. It's the ones that are producing milk for supermarkets and stuff, rather than just local businesses and local farmers. They probably only take up 10% of the population of farmers. Yeah. Compared to the mass ones, which is the vast majority of these dairy cows, and I don't agree. I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it. No, but it's once again of the argument of what I can't way round.
I can't personally say I have a solution for it because it would be stupid. It would be stupid to turn around and say stop doing it, stop killing the cows, because that wouldn't work.
Yeah, like there probably is a way around it. Yeah. But we're not there yet. No. As like people, we don't know. No. There probably is someone out there trying to figure a way around it, but like we can't all just go, oh, we should be doing better, and then just go, okay.
Yeah. Well,
that's nice.
Yeah. In conclusion, Neither of us have an answer for it, but
We spoke about it. There you
Yes.
go.
we have discussed it. Hopefully, we've sparked some thoughts. Just tell us what you think about it in the comments.
Yeah, it is a. But the whole industry itself is so
It is
backwards.
It is.
and-
It is very weird. It is very.
Like, for example, like Alex is vegetarian. I make my jokes,
Yeah.
rightfully so. Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to be like, oh, you're bad,
Yeah.
because it's not a bad thing to be vegetarian.
No.
It's just it's the people out there that are like, oh, I'm vegetarian. Mm.
Yeah. Straight up. Let's be honest. I'm speaking personally. I know a lot of people who are vegan and vegetarian. No, you can't make a joke with them. You can't make a joke. Make a joke with me. Take the piss. I don't care. Because lots of people do it. It's a laugh. If you are so stuck up your own bumhole as a vegetarian that you can't accept someone having a joke, grow up.
I ate a
Right.
bacon sandwich this morning. Didn't tell Alex.
No.
I was like, I'm not going to go, hey, Alex,
I don't get, yeah.
I'm eating a bacon sandwich.
That's what I mean. Like, if as a meat eater they don't go around
not
going,
gonna go,
oh,
yeah.
have some of this, forcing it down your throat. Don't force it down theirs. I'm a vegetarian. I think that sustainably as well as morally, I'd want people to do the same thing as me, but it doesn't mean I'm going to force people to do it. So we've spoken about it, Kurt.
Also, I would like to say that, the sort of vegetarian products are always improving.
Yes, they are getting better. If you go back 5 years, right.
Although I wouldn't eat a vegan sausage roll.
No.
I just don't see the point.
They're quite nice. Greg's ones are quite nice. We can talk about the food choices another time.
John, to be honest with you, the thing is, I've never really had them. I've just
Yeah.
sort of, I don't. There's no point in me having them.
No.
At the end of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
day, it's more expensive for something that's
Yeah.
less what I want, really.
Yeah. All right, how far are we in? Hour and 5. All right, I think we've got a bit of time to talk about something a bit happier. We had a few comments this week
Happy.
about
The
about the football.
football.
West Ham in particular, who, if I can check the final score, because they were playing while we were talking, West Ham have beaten Tottenham 2-1 to put them now into 4th in the league. West Ham United are fighting for a Champions League spot. Let's be honest, we haven't got a lot of time to talk about the Premier League. Let's touch on West Ham, for example, because we've had a request for it. We'll touch on Man United, we'll touch on Arsenal. West Ham, fucking hats down to you. Well done. Well done. Smashing
They're
everyone.
4th now.
Yeah. Man United, I mean, you're doing fucking well. You're doing well. You're up there.
We are in
Third.
third
With the game in
with
hand.
the game in hand. That
Yeah.
could go into second.
Yeah, you could go into second.
Let's be honest, the league's gone. It's 10 points to Man City. I can't see them dropping it. Liverpool lost. Ha ha ha. Tottenham, they're still 8th.
Yeah.
Arsenal are 10th.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we shouldn't talk about Arsenal so much.
Yeah, no, have a little chat, go on.
Shambles, mate. Absolute
Arsenal have
shambles.
managed to lose as many as they've won.
Yeah.
They have a 6-goal difference.
We had a pretty stinky game against Benfica in the week in the Europa League.
Oh yeah.
But we're playing who we got today? Manchester City. We could help you out here.
I
Let's
did
just
say
sit here at
I'll
home.
be-
This is the sort of game where Arsenal can pull it out of the bag. Because usually, if this was a game where we'd come off of a semi-decent game against Benfica in a week, we'd come and drop our heads and have a stinker. If it was West Brom, we'd probably lose. But Man City, I reckon they'll switch on for this game. I reckon we were in for a chance of beating City today. But
Yeah, Man U are playing, I think, Newcastle.
yeah,
It's Newcastle. It's one of our bogey teams.
bogey teams.
So
Yeah.
I'm not expecting too much.
No.
But you never know. Bruno can pull it out.
He always does. He always does. Anyway, we've got news and a fact of the week.
News and fact. Repeat.
Finish it off.
Repeat it, Alex.
News and the fact of the week.
There we
Right.
go. That's
We'll go with the fact. Kurt.
fact. Factio.
This one I found very interesting.
Yeah.
Did you know the Easter Island heads?
Yeah.
Big old heads. Did you know that they've got bodies
Yes.
that are underneath the ground? I didn't. I was shocked.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I didn't realise. I
Yeah.
thought they were just heads.
I don't understand why.
No.
I'm guessing what they did was they built the statues themselves. I don't think the land would have.
No.
That's not, I think they dug it in.
Yeah, they
So
must
it's
have
just a
done,
head.
but
But it doesn't make sense why they do that.
I thought it was interesting.
It was interesting, but I just don't. It sort
No.
of baffled me a little bit. I was like, yeah, you made a body, but why are you hiding it?
Yeah.
Maybe it just didn't stand up. So they went, oh,
Yeah.
just bury it.
to continue with our talk about animals, the
Okay.
news of the week this week in Mexico,
Mm.
a bull
Oh, yes. I love a bull.
escaped from a slaughterhouse
Love that
in
from you.
Mexico, ran across the streets for, I think they said it was like 45
Did you go to a
minutes.
China shop?
No. He went into a hospital and started smashing up a hospital waiting room. That's the biggest fuck you can ever give. An animal is about to be killed, escapes and goes, you know what? I'm going to go and kill all you instead. Runs into a hospital and tries to kill a bunch of weak people in a hospital instead. Straight up switching it up. Inception. You're going to kill me, I'm going to kill you. Yeah. Straight up. Well done to the cow. Well done to it. Well done to that bull.
That bull.
It's like a bull in a china shop.
Sounds like bull shizer.
Bull shizer.
I was German, so I can't get moaned at that.
No.
Oh, is it German? He's German.
Shizer. I'm assuming it sounds German. I never did German.
Schweinsteiger.
Yeah.
It's a nice German name, isn't it?
I think we could finish, Kurt.
Oh, come on.
Wandavision, episode 7.
Yeah.
You watched it the other day, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I watched it the night it came out. I say the night, it was probably about 1:30, half 1 in the morning. Yeah.
What did you think?
So, you know, you were very impressed. I could tell by the message that you sent me while you were at work. I was like, I was going to watch it, and then I just kept getting distracted.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I was really gassed to watch it. I sat down. I was like, oh, looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what her name is. Monica Rambeau. Now, Photon, the superhero
yeah.
Photon, which is apparently quite similar to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Which sort of baffled me a little bit. But then, what I thought when she did that, I was like, does that then mean that Wanda can basically make everyone powers? If they all just keep going through.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing, what was her name? Agnes.
Agnes Harkness
is now Agatha
Harkness. Yeah. I had a feeling
which
it wasn't really too big of a shock,
but it does give you a bit that Wanda isn't completely all to blame for all the bad shit that's going on.
No. See, it makes like now we all know from that the Quicksilver, not the X-Men Quicksilver.
No.
All a big ruse.
Yeah.
Now, there's still one big twist to happen in this series. Because after that, since the episode's come out, I think the guy who plays Vision, I can't remember what his name is, still has said one big guy, one big cameo that he's never acted with before. Last episode, no one knows who it is.
No.
Who's
it could be good.
I think it's Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I
still think it's
Benedict Cumberbatch will make an appearance.
Or Spider-Man.
It could be. Yeah, he had a big appearance with.
Because
they mentioned the multiverse in this last film.
Because apparently, I read somewhere that there's a shot. I know she's in the new Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And they filmed Doctor Strange and Spider-Man before Wandavision.
Yeah.
And it's not unheard of for Marvel to go and shoot a scene during their filming of another film for a different thing. Yeah. It's not unheard. Like, how easy would it have been for her to just show up one day, do their scene, leave, no one noticed? Yeah, straight up. A lot of Inception. It could be good. I'm excited. It had me gassed the ending to episode 7 with it did
Harkness.
For me, and it one thing I could get confused is who is this Agatha's husband?
Husband?
She's always talking about her husband.
It could be another twist. I think it's just a ruse to try and make it believable.
Do you think do you know who Mephisto is?
Yes, Mephisto.
Do you think Mephisto is going to be a part of this?
Probably.
I wouldn't say no. In the comics that WandaVision is the closest to, Mephisto, his arms are Wanda's kids.
Yeah. Well,
literally they are. They are. So it could be.
Well, I can't say no to anything at this point because there's been so many twists and turns. But I think the husband thing with Agnes was just her way of rusing. That's sort of to get people thinking earlier on, going, she keeps talking about her husband, but we've never seen her husband. So it makes people think early on, there's something going on with her. Obviously now they've released that she's
a witch.
She's a witch.
Yeah, but she's still talking about her husband.
Yeah. Well, so it could be it could be an even bigger twist. Who knows? But for now, that was a big old episode, big old twists.
Yeah.
Finding out a lot. I'm excited for next week.
I enjoyed the way it was also filmed. It was sort of the Office vibes.
Yeah.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
I love the little bits they do, little sitcom bits. It's great. They give it a little sit down and talk. It's so good. Well, hour and 14 minutes, Kurt. We've done well this week.
We have done well. Now, as you can say, as we said at the start, we apologise for if there was any quality issues with the mic.
Yeah.
It's not really much. Like, it's the first time we properly used it. Don't get me wrong, we did test it, but that doesn't really mean anything in the long run, does it? So, I mean, Alex has been listening through as we've recorded it. I don't think he's noticed any big problems.
Look, we're going to listen back to the audio when we're done. I'm hoping everything's good. If you do have any thoughts? I mean, actually, one thing I was going to ask, if anyone's got any suggestions for microphones we could get, that would be handy because we're always looking for new equipment. But hopefully this one will do well and it'll be good. I mean, we can wrap it up there, can't we, Kurt?
I think we can.
Yeah.
We're all good. If you listened all the way through to the end, would you like to comment? I'm not like anyone commented on the last two.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Comment cheese if you get to the end. Thank you for listening to episode 4 of our podcast. I hope you enjoyed.
I mean, I apologise we didn't come up with any solutions for the biggest problems in the world. We tried.
We did try.
Last week we did say we were trying.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we tried last week. It's a whole week ago.
Yeah.
My brain don't work that much.
Yeah.
But, you know, we are trying.
Yeah. If you've got any suggestions, as always, drop a comment. We'll have another poll up this week with some more of the life's biggest questions.
Yeah.
If you did enjoy it, please like us, like this post, like us on YouTube, Instagram, share with a friend, follow us, subscribe to us. Anything helps with us just to get us out there. We're getting a bit of a following now, which is nice. We're getting up there. So yeah, thank you very much for listening.
And
we'll see you next week.
I can't remember the way we end it.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.
Adios.